I don't know his position. I don't know his but the political ladder, I need to acknowledge him. He's actually been representing you very, very well. He's a very talented and professional gentleman. He's a man that gives, unbiased advice, and each time he's one of the few commissioners that I see his phone, and I always have to pick because I know there is something, important is passing on to me. Thank you very much. The President of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, Mr. Mustafa Issa, and other executive members of this great association, Managing Directors and Chief Executive of electronic print media that are here, let me warmly and specially acknowledge, if you don't mind, the Managing Director of the Guardian newspaper, Mr. Martin Oloja, the Managing Director of This Day newspaper, Mr. Eniola Balogun, Eniola Bello, NEB, and the Managing Director for the Tribune, Mr. Edward Dixon, and rise to just acknowledge my gong, Mr. Richard Akinola, editors-in-chief and editors of daily and weekend newspapers, proprietors of radio and TV stations, Guild of Corporate Online Publishers, fellows of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, our keynote speaker, Dr. Pius Onomba Yedo of the Pan-African University, the current chairman and former chairman of NUJ in Lagos, former president of the Nigerian Guild of Editors that are here, distinguished guests, ladies, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first apologize for coming slightly behind schedule. I'm supposed to have been here at 10, but I had 2-3 visitors that blocked, at home. And first also to plead that I might not be able to wait till the end of this event because of also other pressing state matters. We're also bringing a few new cabinet members to join us. Some of them are going to pursue other political ideas. Some are contesting as candidates in other offices, and so we need to fill those positions, so they're also waiting for me. But let me formally welcome all of you to Lagos. I know it's a Southwest collaboration, but let me formally also welcome you to Lagos. Let me welcome you to your states, to the state of aquatic splendor, to the state that you all know too very well, to the state that we all owe a responsibility to ensure that it continues to do well, to the state that we believe if we all get it right, not only are we getting it right in Nigeria, but in the entire African continent. And so to say that that state is a state that I humbly today serve as the 15th governor, which beckons a huge level of responsibility on my shoulder. It's something that we take very seriously, and it's something that I'm appreciative of for all of you here that has helped me to navigate the 3 years and 2 months or so that I've been in this position. And so I feel highly honored that you are having this conference or seminar in Lagos. And we're highly honored that you continue to remain very impartial, independent reviewer of what we're doing as a government. Looking through the themes of the events you'll be having today and tomorrow, journalism and digitalization, the imperative of good governance, good corporate governance. I think, like the president said, it's not only apt, it also speaks to the conscience of the reality of where we find ourselves. Digitalization has come to stay. We need to be able to, realize that things have changed and have changed very, very fast. Gone are the days when we believe that it's only in the era of Mr. Montosho, it's only when you sit in the newsroom that things will happen to you. A lot of the time, news are being broken at event venue, at functions, and you that are waiting in the room, sometimes, you just need to do further follow. And so, like the president said, it's something that we need to be able to speak to. But the question is, how well are we regulating that space? How well are we taking the issues around corporate governance very, very seriously? How well are we ensuring that indeed what we are set up as professionals, as journalists, to protect, and to give the citizens an independent view, how well are we doing that, for ourselves? And I think, there's no better time than now for all of us to take it up, for all of you to see it as a new order that you can indeed learn and embrace, the realities of the time. As a government, what are we doing to also promote that industry, right? Under our team's agenda, the first E there is education and technology. And we realize and will appreciate that technology is a strong cardinal deliverable for our citizens now. And so what have we done, or what are we doing? We've actually just almost completed the first phase of the 3,000 kilometer fiber optics, connectivity, ducts that we'll have in Lagos. And by the beginning of next year, we hope to start the phase 2, which will be another 3,000 kilometer of fiber optics. So what that is doing is that we're bringing internet, connectivity, and infrastructure closer to the citizens, closer to businesses, closer to houses where schools, hospitals, and public offices are. And we're doing it with deliberate intention, working with the private sector. Sitting down with the big telcos and ask, what is your growth plan? And we ensure that this digital infrastructure go to where they see, their growth planning. So it's not just we sitting down, it's we working with them, sitting, looking at their map and saying, this is where you want to go in the city. And to ensure that, and because that's what you see. One person will come, dig, the roads, and create their own right of way. 6 months after, another person won't come. Nigerians, we all like it is my own. We don't want to co-share. But what we have been able to do is that we've gotten all of them to co-share, in the duct infrastructure. So each duct has over 6, lines which, so they don't touch each other. Everybody can lay their duct, and we're beginning to see a more regulated, order. And so, what will be the outcome of this intervention? This year alone, we've seen 3 world-class, global companies coming into Lagos. We've seen Equinox, which is the biggest data center providers in the world, partnering with Main One to open up the second data center out of Lekki. They're the biggest data center company in the world. We've seen Wire and Equinox landing the second or the third submarine in Lagos again this year. We've seen Cassie. Cassie is also building an hyperscale data center out of Lagos. And so what this means, is that cost of digital infrastructure will crash. A lot of more people will have access to cheaper, faster and quicker internet connectivity. And that speaks to your profession. That speaks to the reality of why you must take advantage, of all of these new initiatives, and infrastructure that we see. And so you can see that for government and yourselves, is a win-win situation. You can do your work quicker, faster. But the second side of it is around corporate governance. And I think the president has mentioned it. I've been a keen watcher of what has happened in your space in the last 2 weeks, where the NBC, through the court, I don't know who is first, but the NBC first, sanctioned the BBC on some video that I heard that they did, and it's been called out, for and against. They shouldn't, they should have. Where's the thin line? What should they have not done right, and the rest of it. And just this morning again, we also heard about the ban, on Trust TV and multi-choice and the rest of it for airing a few things. So the question we'll ask is, where is press freedom? I stand with you guys in solidarity to say that indeed your profession is not just a noble one, but it's one that gives the general public an independent assessment, holding our governance and government accountable at all times. And so we need to be very careful as politicians, as public officers, that we do not gag this profession. We will not, unduly stifle, free journalism and stifle free, press and media. And so I want to say to you that our government understands and appreciates press freedom and media freedom is the way in which we can hold government accountable. But it's also the responsibility of all of us here to ensure that that thin line, we also can self-regulate, ourselves. And that's why I cannot agree less with the president that says that the body of the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation should not only be independent, it should be equipped with men of impeccable character and integrity that can indeed work like the Oxfam, of this world, and indeed, sanction erring people, but give, freedom, for all of you to do your work and do it very, very, very well. I'm not going to take the shine off the guest speaker. I'm just supposed to come in here and declare open, the conference. But just to also say that, if you don't mind, tomorrow afternoon we can have dinner at the State House in Marina. I will not want you to leave Lagos without feeling the hospitality of Lagos. So I've asked, with the permission of Mr. President, that you can join me. It's not an interview. It's not a press. It's just for us to relax after today and tomorrow with Mr. Governor. You will have your day with me. I've given, Mr. Motosho, you will have the day to stretch, to ask me all of those difficult questions, and it's going to happen also very, 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 very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, just a final note to say that regarding my view about corporate governance is also to ensure that this digital space will eradicate the era, or will eradicate completely within the profession false news and fake news. People sometimes rush to want to post something and they do not have done the proper due diligence to verify, what they are posting, and ask yourself, what damage would I do if I found out that this is not completely true? Just to be a bit more circumspect and know that indeed, once it's out there, you cannot retrieve it back. And so that in itself puts a lot of, professional competence on whoever is posting that. But just to say that I've enjoyed working with all of you, and I'm looking forward to still enjoying the remaining of my 4-year tenure. And if all of you feel so compelling during the election, I would not mind to also be your governor again. And so this vote, I want to declare open this 2-day conference, and I'm hoping that the outcome of it will enrich the profession and ensure that we can continue, to hold this profession at the highest level. Thank you very much.